welcome to Treasury Notes, a show dedicated to the latest news and information from the Office of West Virginia State Treasurer John Perdue. I'm your host, Gina Joynes. As the banker of West Virginia, Treasurer Perdue knows it's important to keep your money in order. That's why he's made financial education a cornerstone of his administration. From the Net Worth Initiative designed to introduce money management in schools to the Women in Money conferences, Treasurer Perdue is dedicated to providing financial education for all ages. Today we'll learn more about these financial education programs. Plus, Clarke from the AARP Foundation will join us later in the show to talk about our partnership with Money Smart Week. But first, Treasurer Perdue is working with other state leaders on a project to streamline government operations. The wvOASIS project is an effort to develop and implement a single software system that will replace the many administrative and business reporting systems currently being used throughout the state. Joining us today is Todd, the project director of wvOASIS. Thank you so much for joining us here today.
Thank you for having me.
Well, Todd, you serve as the state's project director, so let's start by just giving us a brief overview of wvOASIS as it's now being called. That's the official name. Tell us a little bit about the project.
Correct. Sure. The wvOASIS project is an initiative, as you said, to kind of replace some of the back office administrative systems of state government. We are looking to replace in excess of 100 of these state legacy systems, from areas of financials, HR, payroll, procurement, treasury management, as well as functions that agencies have their own systems for items such as fixed assets, inventory, and fleet management. So this project is really the largest information technology government improvement project the state has ever undertaken.
I know Treasurer Perdue has said that it's the largest project he's ever seen in his 30-some years in state government. In West Virginia OASIS, it's considered an enterprise resource planning initiative. So tell us how this project came about, and can you give us just a little history of the project?
Sure. The state governor, the state auditor, and the state treasurer, as well as our legislature, really saw a need and some of the benefits of utilizing an enterprise resource system. Consolidating those administrative functions, leveraging a database that has all the information as opposed to many systems across the state. So they saw the vision and the benefit of it. Our legislature was very proactive in funding some of the upfront money to get this project started. And the governor, the auditor, and treasurer, serving as the ERP board, have been actively participating as the executive sponsors for the project.
I think some people might be surprised that many of these functions aren't already under one system. So this is really probably a project that is well due here in the state.
I would absolutely agree. We are probably one of the last states in the country to really bring together their administrative systems into one solution. So, we're a little bit behind the curve nationally, but our project is probably the scope and the what we are trying to accomplish, this sheer volume and size of what we are doing is probably the largest that's ever taken place in the country. So it's something that I know our board members and our project team are very proud of.
Okay, well, we do have an organizational chart of ERP, and we know that Treasurer Perdue serves on the board as well as the governor and state auditor. In fact, there are representatives from many agencies involved in this project. Tell us why it's so important to have these agencies work together to get this system in place.
Well, it is true, and we have probably in excess of 70 state employees from a host of state agencies working on the program, and a lot of what we call subject matter experts that are coming in for meetings and helping us. And the reason it's really so important is we're replacing so many systems. We need to have people involved in the implementation that understand the systems that we're replacing. We have a lot of centralized people from the treasurer's office, the auditors, from the governor's executive branch working on the project. really focusing on those constitutional legislative responsibilities that the central processing agencies focus on, as well as bringing individuals in from the agencies who know the core systems that they use, so they're an integral part of solutioning this project.
We're talking about the financial systems of the state, some of the administrative systems of different state agencies. So when state employees start using this project, will they be retrieving information from one financial system? Will it all be coming from this one system, instead of having to log in and log out of separate systems?
Absolutely, and that's one of the things we're very excited about. We've strived very hard to maintain what we were calling a single log-on, single user ID log-on. So an individual state employee who needs to use one of these systems will have one user ID and password. They will get into wvOASIS. Now, if they have responsibility in the HR payroll area, those they'll be in the system, and it's a security role-based system, but they would have access to do payroll related information, HR information. If I need to go over and process a cash receipt or a deposit, it'll all be in one particular location, all utilizing kind of the same database. And that's really the conceptual idea of an enterprise-wide system. But the single sign-on and going one place as opposed to multiple applications in today's environment is going to be a tremendous benefit to the state employees.
Yeah, really putting everybody on the same page, I guess. That's the bottom line, right?
Very much so.
This is really a big and costly project. It's quite an undertaking. What kind of return on investment can we expect to see with this project? Because I know the ultimate goal is to get everyone on the same page, but also to make sure that the state is being cost effective.
Absolutely. Long before we started this project, we worked with our consulting partners to put forth a business plan, a return on investment calculation. Right now the state's spending in excess of $35 million annually on some of these redundant systems, these software application licenses and application support of these legacy systems. So it is a costly project, but our return on investment is expected to be in less than 9 years. We will completely recoup all the cost for the project. Both our vendor, our consulting cost, and the state resource cost will be completely recouped within 8 years, and then we're basically just saving the state tremendous amount of money, millions of dollars per year.
We know that the employees who use these different systems out there, I'm sure, are very excited about this project and wanting to see how it works. But let's talk a little bit about the other aspect of this. How is this benefiting some of the average taxpayers out there who aren't actually going to be using the system,
right,
but it's still a benefit to every resident in the state?
Yeah, I believe so. That's a great question. The citizens and taxpayers of West Virginia are very interested in how the state spends money. This program, our solution really will give them much more transparency into how the state spends their money. Additionally, it will change and touch taxpayers in how they conduct business with government. With some of the solutions we're implementing, a citizen may be able to pay for a fee or a service online at home with their credit card, which benefits them, but it's going to be much more efficient on the state's processing as well. So I think the transparency into spend, the way that they will touch and interact with some of the benefits of this system, and I think just simply having a smarter, more educated government workforce is a benefit to our citizens.
Well, talking about smarter, let's talk a little bit about the meat of this project. It's not just a system where you say, okay, here's the software, here's how it works, let's put it in place. This is a project. This is something that you guys are working on, finding solutions for all the little nuances, all the little problems that we might encounter over the next several years, and it's going to be unveiled in different phases. Let's talk a little bit about the change order and the need to adjust the timeline of this project as you see fit.
Yeah, it is a very large project, and any project of this size has some anticipated changes and things that have to, to be accounted for. Every solution that we evaluated had what we refer to as gaps, where there were some areas in which it did not meet exactly the needs of the state. Those systems that we're replacing, a lot of those have been highly customized. So we did have areas in which we felt that the solution could be better developed, slightly customized to better fit the needs of the state. So, and when we were doing that, we executed a change order in which we decided, for the benefit of the state and the project, we were going to revise our implementation go-live phases. And so we changed those timelines as part of that process, and there's several benefits of doing that. We thought it was a good thing to do, and fortunately, because of the board and the legislature's foresight, our plan and our return on investment has not been negatively impacted because we planned for those contingencies to have slight changes on a project that's going out over a period of almost 8 years.
Okay, and we just saw a graphic that kind of explained the different phases of this project. If you could just kind of let us know where are we right now with the project, and what are some of the really key points to hit on that timeline?
We are coming out of what we refer to as the envision phase. As the diagram shows, we have now 5 phases to this particular project, and we are those 5 projects are going on concurrently. So that's part of the reason for the sheer number of people and the complexity of the project. But we're striving. Our first big milestone is our Phase A go live, which is August of 2013, and that is our budget development Phase A. A few months after that, in January of 2014, Phase B goes live, our transportation assets. Phase C, our big financial, that's really the big lift of the project, goes live July 1, 2014. 6 months after that, our HR payroll and the remaining transportation functions come up. So we're ending up the envision phase, and we're getting ready to get into the design and build for each of those particular phases.
Well, we could talk a lot about this project. We could spend the whole show on it, but unfortunately we just don't have the time. We'd like to have you back, though, as things progress and as you continue to roll out put these phases out there and roll them out. We'd like to keep up to date with this. We thank you so much for joining us today. And if people want to find out more information on the wvOASIS project, there is a website you have that they can go to, correct?
Yes, there is. wvOASIS.gov, I believe.
Okay. And we will have much more information coming up. But Todd, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you again for having me.
We are going to take a quick break right now. When we return, we'll learn about Treasurer Perdue's ongoing financial education initiatives. Plus, Gina Clarke from the AARP Foundation will join us for a look ahead at Money Smart Week 2013. Stay with us.
We find all kinds of items, and that becomes unclaimed property, and it mounts into millions of dollars. It could be stock, it could be CDs, but it could also be a diamond ring or a gold watch of your dad's. We returned over $50 million to the people of West Virginia. I'm proud of that. You can go on our website, you can look at the names and see if your name's on there or someone that you recognize. We set the standard in the nation in returning unclaimed property.
Welcome back to Treasury Notes. I'm your host, Gina Joynes. Net Worth is State Treasurer John Perdue's program, which encompasses all ongoing financial education efforts from elementary school to adulthood. Treasurer Perdue first partnered with the State Board of Education back in 2008 to provide West Virginia's public schools with a curriculum that would integrate financial concepts into already existing lesson plans. Recently, Treasurer Perdue visited a class at Capitol High School to see the lesson plans in action. Kim Ward has more.
Treasurer Perdue believes the best way to build a better future for our state is to start with our youth. That's why he's working to bring financial education into the classroom so kids can learn about things like creating a budget and staying out of debt in a safe environment before they face the real-world consequences of bad financial decisions. For Capitol High School teacher Paula Kerner, the Treasurer's financial education curriculum fits naturally into her lesson plans.
The idea was that what they really needed was the personal finance, how to budget, how to pay their bills, how to not go into debt, how to figure out taxes and things like that. So I think that fits perfectly into civics, how to be a good citizen and be responsible, and how to make it in the adult world.
Capitol High School civics teacher Paula Kerner says the financial education lesson plans start with the basics of personal finance, like checking and savings accounts, before moving on to more complex issues like debit and credit. An issue State Treasurer John Perdue warns can get students into trouble.
Most seniors that graduate from high school and go to college and get out in the real world, one of the first things they get is a credit card, and they end up in credit card debt.
Treasurer Perdue says he's pleased to see that the lessons these students are learning in the classroom have piqued their interest in real-world finances.
I think everyone needs to keep up with the economy, especially now with fiscal cliff and a lot of financial problems.
On this day, students in Ms. Kerner's class are learning how to invest money through the stock market.
Who knows what a portfolio is and buying a stock?
Even though they aren't using real money, students get a hands-on lesson about the ups and downs you encounter when you invest.
A great way for anybody to make money or lose money. You got to be smart with it.
Ms. Kerner says Treasurer Perdue's visit is beneficial for her students.
I think it's really important for them to see how these plans were developed and implemented into the curriculum, and always good for them to see the adults that are concerned about their ability to function as adults.
In addition to the curriculum provided for teachers to incorporate in their lesson plans, the Treasurer's Office has other activities aimed at teaching students about financial responsibility. Hundreds of middle school students take part in the Get a Life budget simulation game. Treasurer Perdue also brings financial educator Chad Foster to several West Virginia schools every year as part of his high school money conference series. You can learn more about these programs by visiting our website at wvtreasury.com. Reporting for Treasury Notes, I'm Kim Ward.
Thanks, Kim. The Treasurer's Office also hosts a series of money conferences to help people develop a financial plan well into retirement. The next Women and Money Conference will be held at the end of April in association with Money Smart Week. We're joined now by Janet Clarke from the AARP Foundation, which organizes Money Smart Week here in West Virginia. Janet, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me again.
Yes, we've done this a couple years in a row now. We've talked about Money Smart Week, and a few years back, we decided to put the Women and Money Conference, which Treasurer Perdue started back in 2002. He decided to start running it in conjunction with Money Smart Week, and it's been a great partnership ever since. This is now the 4th year for Money Smart Week West Virginia. We're excited to be a part of it again. Let's talk just a little bit about what this week is all about and what the goal is.
Sure. Money Smart Week is a week-long activity of financial literacy. It started was launched in 2002 by the Federal Reserve Bank of Chicago, and now it's in 45 states across the United States, and it's for all ages. You're never too young to start saving and you're never too old to start saving either for retirement. And so this has been our 4th year of bringing Money Smart Week to West Virginia. And again, we welcome you with Women in Money to become part of that week.
There are quite a few partnerships with Money Smart Week. One of the keys is that all this information that people can cash in on is free information, correct?
Yes. The whole week, all of our programs that they're offering statewide are all free activities for everyone to come in and get more financial literate.
All right. Well, this Women in Money Conference, we've held them all over the state, the Treasurer has, but this particular one with Money Smart Week is going to be held in Charleston this year. This is the 31st Women in Money Conference, so they keep getting better every time. I've been to about a dozen of them now, and like I said, they just keep getting better. This one is going to be scheduled for Friday, April 26th, which again is part of that Money Smart Week, kind of helps round out the week on that Friday. Tell us what people can experience from this conference. I know you're not directly involved in the organization of the Women in Money, but we do have a great keynote speaker, and I think you've been to one of them before.
Yeah, well, last year I attended the one in Morgantown, and it was wonderful. Yeah. And so I look forward to attending this one as well on Friday. Deborah Lee, who I believe is your
Lee.
I'm sorry. Dee Lee is your keynote speaker. And I believe she'll be talking about everything from financial planning to savings to retirement, everything women need to know to be a smart investor and financially stable.
Yeah, we definitely want to target women because women make up a lot of the demographic of those who are now taking charge of finances. Mm-hmm. And Dee has written books on this subject. She's a great financial educator. I've sat in on many of her sessions, and she does a great job of really explaining it on a level that I think we all can understand as to what you need to do when it comes to budgeting your monthly expenses, planning for retirement, planning for those unforeseen problems that you might have and might pop up within your budget. But Money Smart Week isn't just about women in money. It's also about offering free financial information to everyone, and there are going to be quite a few other events. Can you walk us through what some of the other events will be that we've seen, especially in the past with Money Smart Week?
Well, certainly. We have a kids essay, which we have every year, and the winner of that gets a $750 Smart 529 plan that's given out, and also a Kindle Fire, and also the student who wins teacher also gets it. It's a statewide, again, any student in the 6th through 8th grade. Please check with your teacher or check on our website or the Junior Achievement website, and you'll be able to see how you can enter and win. I think the deadline is April the 12th for that. The next time, on Tuesday, we have Teach the Children to Save Day, and this is also statewide. And this is sponsored by the West Virginia Bankers Association, where they have different banks, local banks in the area across West Virginia, going in to teach children on how to save and how to save for their future. Wednesday, we have Operation Scam Jam, which this year we're having it in Charleston. Again, like yourself, we try to have this all over the state. Mm-hmm. This year it's in Charleston at the Embassy Suites. We have some great speakers coming in, and it's all about financial fraud. It's investing. We have someone talk about Senior Medicare Patrol Project, which was one of our foundation's programs. Then on Thursday, we're doing something with the military, the families of our military, and we call that boot camp, financial boot camp.
Very appropriate.
And it's very similar to our Operation Scam Jam, again, but it's geared toward military families. On Friday, we have the Women in Money. And then on Saturday, we finish up with a shred event that we have. We're having it here in Charleston at the Gander Mountain up on Corridor G at Southridge. And we're also having one in Bridgeport this year by the Kroger in Bridgeport. So that's a whole week long of things.
The shredding event, I always like the idea of the shredding event because we all know, many of us, I won't mention any names like myself, who have boxes and boxes of confidential information that you've saved over the years, and when you're doing your spring cleaning, now's the time to get out there, and maybe these are old files that need to be purged, and you can take them out there to, you said Gander Mountain, and there's also another event
in
Bridgeport north of here, so it's really an opportunity for people to purge and get rid of some of those files in a safe way. Talking a little bit more about some of these events that we do for Money Smart Week, we have a lot of different business partners and organizations who help offer this free financial information. Why is it so important that these organizations get out there and make this information available to the masses?
Well, the whole deal that started was to find partners. You start with a partner and then you ask another partner to join you, and it's a collaborative effort. This year we have over 20 partners involved. We certainly have the Treasurer's Office, we have the Auditor's Office, we have the Better Business Bureau, the Library Commission. We have so many partners, and we couldn't do it without their help. And so every year we try to get a new partner on board, and we encourage, it seems like everybody uses universities or someone to partner with, and I believe we're having something with WVU as a new partner. On Saturday we have West Virginia University helping with our shredding. So we're always looking for new partners.
Why did AARP start this in the first place? Why did they think this was a good idea and a good thing to bring to West Virginia? Because, as you said, it started in Chicago.
Correct. Actually, I went to a conference. It was in Madison, Wisconsin, and I went to a conference, and this was a 3-day conference. And the poor gentleman who was the last speaker of a conference was the one who was the last speaker of the day. And you know, we've all been to conferences and we're tired. So I thought he was the best speaker that there was the whole day. And I remember taking all this information and bringing it to my boss and said, this is something we need to do in West Virginia, because it was a statewide, it was getting everybody involved, and it was just a great collaboration to bring all our partners together for that whole week. No one can sell any goods or services that week because all these events are free, and so it just seemed like a really good fit for us. So I brought it back, and I think it was a year later, because like you said, this is our 4th Money Smart Week.
Working together to get all this information out there, all valuable information. Now we want to get to the good stuff. We want to make sure that people know where they can go if they want to find out more information about Money Smart Week and more information about the Women in Money Conference. For the Women in Money Conference, all you need to do is go to our website, wvtreasury.com. Again, that's wvtreasury.com. You can register right there on the website. You can also call 304-341-0724 for more information on Women in Money. And for Money Smart Week, you guys have website. You also have social media that you're doing to help promote these events.
We do. We have the Money Smart Week, www.moneysmartweek.org. You can go to their national website, pick the state that you're interested in, and go to West Virginia. Also, we're on Facebook. We have our own Facebook page. So I encourage everyone to go there, see what's going on. It has everything that you need to know about Money Smart Week on that page. So like us on that Facebook page.
The treasurer also has a Facebook page, and I think that Women in Money is going to be an event listed on our Facebook page. So we encourage people, if you're on social media, a lot of people are right now, it's a great place to get information and to just follow us on Facebook or Twitter. Any last thoughts on Money Smart Week, on why this is just such a good event for people to participate in? I want you to speak to those people out there who say, yeah, you know, maybe there is some good information out there for me. I need to get involved in this.
Well, like I said before, it's all ages. All ages. It's, you know, AARP is a sponsor, but it's not the 50-plus crowd, because we're doing something for the middle school children and the Women in Money. So it's all across the board, and it's all West Virginia consumers.
All right.
And all our events are free.
Absolutely. Good to know. Thanks so much, Janet, for being with us today. That's all the time we have for this Treasury Notes show. Remember, you can always get the latest news and information from the State Treasurer's Office on the go. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, or log on to our website. Thank you so much for joining us, keeping you informed on the Library Television Network. I'm Gina Joynes with the Office of West Virginia State Treasurer John Perdue.